You know that I come from Bangladesh. For me, I would say my cultural background and how I have overcome some of gender discrimination. Like that was like a very prominent aspect to my life.
Anshah Anju Khan Chowdhury, the only Bangladeshi in the INSEADer class of 23J, grew up in a developing country where she constantly faced gender discrimination in school and her career. My first impression of Anshah was during the lunch week, where she expressed her desire to become the first female CFO in her country. I was deeply touched by this young lady, not just because of her ambition, but because of her courageous attitude towards facing and changing the challenging work environment for women.
Is it your country culture put the woman into a lower...
Not really. I wouldn't say it has got something to do with the culture. I think it depends on how people's mentality and mindset changed over time. I think the Western world became more forward-looking faster than how we could become forward-looking. Back in the days, even like in the UK, you would see that women are supposed to dress up in a certain way. This mentality changed over time, and then women were also supposed to get educated. I think that the change did not happen as fast like our side of the world. In the third world countries, there's like way too many issues that you have to worry about than just focus on one particular aspect. Because of that, to a certain extent, there have been times in my life where I felt like people did not feel like certain things should be done by me. I have a brother who's just 1.5 years younger than me. I'm really grateful that I had a brother because that made me see like two sides of the world. So I remember like when I was a child, we have like two different systems of education. Bangladeshi style of education, public system. You know, we were part of the British colony. So we also have the British system of education, which are like the English medium schools. So you study from playgroup, end of high school, you follow the British curriculum, so everything you study is in English. So when we were supposed to go to school, my dad actually thought that maybe that culture wouldn't be right for me. I might become like very modernized kind of and not very like a good person. But at the same time, my mom, I'm really grateful to her, and I must say that it's because of her I think I could come so far in my life, because she always pushed me forward and she was always motivating me. She was the one who decided that no, just because he's a girl, I cannot discriminate her gender. So we both went to the same school. She always paid for my education because she was like, I'm going to make sure that my daughter has every single thing that my son also gets.
But I would assume like the British education system is a bit more expensive than the traditional.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's more expensive. I mean, even for going for undergrad school, I wanted to study aerospace engineering at first. I applied, I got into Imperial College London, and it was like the world's third ranked aerospace engineering institute at that time. I could not go because because I was a girl going abroad, my lifestyle might change and it might be difficult for me, it might not be the right thing for me. My parents were like, it's good that you got these offers, but maybe you should like finish undergrad and then maybe for your masters you go abroad.
Then they should have stopped you
From applying abroad.
Yeah, before you spending so much time to
on
studying and then
True,
applying and then you even got an offer from like the dream school and you couldn't go. I think that's really
sad. But I think when we think of our parents, it's usually like the father is educated, the mother is usually not. But my mom, she finished undergrad, she finished masters, but she left her career so that she could take care of us. And she really wanted to motivate me and encourage me. So that's why maybe she did not want me to, when I was really looking forward to applying abroad and seeing if I get into a top university, she did not stop me.
So you just went to college in your country, you studied business there. It's a totally different from the...
So what happened is like this. When you compare public versus private, the public universities in our country, they are the best in each of their fields. So the business institute is just for business. Engineering institute, that's just for engineers. You have to sit for exam for each of these institutes. I did not choose the medical or the engineering institute.
Prepare for the studying abroad, it's totally different from the public test. Complete that and then you go back for the business test. That's really hard.
Yeah, but thankfully, right now I'm just 27 because I was really good at my school. I used to become top of the class every year. So I got like double promotions. So I was already underage. And then I did the entire abroad application thing while I was still in high school. English medium school, they end at June, July. Public school exam was in November. So we have like this period. People usually take 1 year to study for the entrance exam because it's so hard. I literally got lucky because I could not study. I did not go to a coaching center. I literally studied for like 15 15 days to sit for the exam because I did not want to waste my time.
Oh my God.
Wait for 1 year. Another thing I should mention, how I grew up. So my mom always made sure I never spent a lot of time being a nerd, studying a lot for academics. So she used to send me to art school, dance school, music school. And then we had an Arabic teacher who used to come home to teach us Arabic. I always spent a long time doing so many different things.
No, it's not the pure luck. Of course, you are very smart enough, and then, as you say, always the top in the class. You're doing so much at the same time. People think it's not helpful for academic, but that's not true. Yeah,
because your brain,
yeah,
multiple
exactly.
parts of your
yeah,
brain
you're
works
doing
together.
art, you're doing music, or you're doing all these stuff. Like it's all the factor of how you can get into. Even though you technically only study for that for 15 days, but like along the way, it's like the collective for the years.
I was always curious to do things which were a bit different. All the top students, they went into banking industry, like commercial banking.
Yeah.
I had like multiple commercial banking offers, but I chose investment banking instead. I just wanted to go like not with the flow, but something else.
Yeah.
So I was in investment banking for 3.5 years. I loved it. It was amazing. All the deals that we worked on, very interesting. So the third world countries are not as great in terms of the financial markets. Many products which are already there out in the market, like in the Western world for a long period of time, you don't find those there. So it was really challenging to work with like the regulators and all of that and coming up with new instruments. So, and it was also very interesting at the same time. And then I switched to the IT consultancy firm.
But why did you make the
Switch?
Yeah.
Investment banking industry culture, a little hard for you to prioritize and have work-life balance. People are still very conservative in nature in the industry. Even though my performance was amazing, if I was not more visible in the outside of work, if like let's say my work finishes at 6, but I'm not there in the office till 8 or 9, it means I'm not good. That's how people still see you.
Gotcha.
Once again, that's why in such industries women are not doing so well.
That's my question too. In the workforce, investment banking, or even the IT consultancy, are you the one of a few women?
So in investment banking I was, but in IT consultancy no. It's a multinational company. There are more women there.
But when you were in investment banking, was the culture not quite women friendly?
It was not. So often I would go to client meeting or even visit the factories, because in investment banking you have to do a lot of due diligence.
Yeah.
And the only lady I would see would probably be a cleaner staff. All the factory workers would just stare at me as if like, oh my god, a woman has come to our factory. It used to be like that. So also the scenario in like a local Bangladeshi company into their office, and the entire floor would be like full of men.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna getting better and better, but it's just very slow.
Very slow, exactly.
But somehow I also feel it's fortunate to see the entire process from what was before, and then we see the changes to what it's now, so we can cherish what we have now. Right? Do you mind speaking a little bit about your marriage?
My marriage story is very weird. My parents were already discussing that I should get married, and I'm like, no, I just graduated like 2 years ago. I'm not going to get married now. There was a lot of pressure from my dad's side of the family, so my dad is like, no, we have to marry her off very quickly. One day my friend, he came to our house and he's like, hey, there's this guy, very good person, so maybe he would be a good match for Anshah. So I said, yeah, sure, why not, maybe I can talk to him. I spoke to my husband over Facebook. After texting him like for 2-3 days, I'm like, okay, fine, this is not going to work out, he's like a robot. So we did not meet, and then I told my mom, I don't like this guy. That's October. In December I go to Cambodia just like for a solo trip. That's when my mom suddenly decides that she wants to meet this guy behind my back. So my mom goes and meets the guy, and she falls in love with the guy.
Oh my god,
seriously. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Why did you go and meet the guy? I told you, this guy sounds like a robot. I'm not going to marry him. And then my mom is like, no, he's amazing, he's so good looking, you have to see him. And I was like, so I'm going to marry a good looking robot? Is that what you're saying? Then in January, my friend, he comes over, hey Anshah, it's kind of weird. It's also very embarrassing for the guy as well as for your mom, because they met and you are not meeting him. So you guys did not even say no or anything, right?
So you met him.
Exactly. It was January 11th. I remember the date.
Oh my god.
I also took my brother with me, and then when we met, I was like, oh my god, this guy is actually good looking and he dresses up so well. So we talk a little. After we went back home, he's like, hey, maybe we could meet up, just you and me, instead of having your brother around. And then we met a few more times. We decided to get married, and then January 11th we meet, and we get married on February 22nd. In 1 month and 11 days, I was married. I did not even make my life decision in terms of university, school, whatever, in such a short period of time. This was like one of the biggest decisions of my life.
Wow, what a story.
So that's the thing. It's very weird. People usually think my parents forced me to marry and like they found someone and got me married.
But it's actually no.
It's totally no.
But then like after you getting married for like 2.5 years, you decided to come for an MBA. What made you...
So MBA was my plan. When I was doing undergrad, that's when I decided. So my life, everything was as per I saw it to be. It was like, okay, in this period of time I want this, in this period of time I want that. The only thing that was not in the plan was the marriage part. Yeah, really.
What's the most important lesson you have learned at the INSEADer?
I could learn way more about myself. One specific thing that I learned about myself is that I hate people telling me that you can't do things. As a woman, everyone keeps on telling you, no matter where you are, that you cannot do this.
I can totally feel you. I think listening to your stories, when you grew up, you were such a smart and then always the top in your class and super confident person. But there are always some up and downs in your life. I think it's similar to me too. We came to INSEADer and then found ourselves and also found those confidence we have lost from the childhood. I think you are the first lady I have interviewed for this. I'm always so touched or inspired by actually how strong a woman can be.
I think one of the reasons women are still so backward is because other women are not doing enough to support them.
Yeah.
Because I have seen that women fight against each other, and I think that is something that we as women should change. If we reach levels where we are like C-level executives, we should make sure that we groom other women so that they can reach that level.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think we have a big role to play in it.
Exactly. Girls help girls.
Exactly. And
thank you so much for your time today. I think when we talk about like gender thing or lady thing, you are the best person I can think of.
I think you would be a better person.
No.
Like really? I'm not kidding. I honestly think that someone should do your interview. Really. What you went through and overcame, really inspiring. You are so strong, Lindsay. You are so strong. No, seriously, I mean it. I really mean it.